Happy Tuesday and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show. I'm Anthony Totri, joined as always by Shane Dieffenbach, Erik Ruby, and special guest today, Kenny Dillingham, the Arizona State head football coach. Guys, before we get into it, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and wherever you get your podcast, drop a 5-star review. Always be on the lookout for that special code word that is going to get you a PHNX Die Hard membership. Thanks to the one, the only Erik Ruby for wearing that lovely, lovely cap.
It is really nice. It's very nice.
I love today of all days. I was super excited to wear the hat. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah,
big hat day.
I think we need to get you one of those.
One of those hats?
You want to try it on?
I'm good.
Coach, how have you been? Obviously, spring football wrapped up a few weeks ago. We'll get into the roster and recruiting and all that type of stuff. But how is life off the field?
It's good. I mean, family's good. My wife and my son are at Disneyland right now. So they're over there having a good time, and we just got back this Sunday, and we're rocking and rolling.
That's awesome. I wanted to ask you, with the spring season over, obviously your second go-round here in terms of those spring practices, just what update can you provide with where the bamboo's at for Arizona State?
Yeah, I mean, we had a team meeting, to get all the guys back, and we started the meeting 7 minutes early because everybody was there. In the past, this was our first time we've had a team meeting to start a segment of practice since I've been here where everybody has been there on time.
Let's go.
Wow.
And now everybody's 7 minutes early. So the standard's just higher than it's ever been, and it's going to continue to get higher as our kids are in the culture and the culture starts to engulf people that join the program. And I think that's what takes the most time is just the coaches can't do everything. Players have to educate players on what it looks like. And I think our players are starting to educate our other guys on what it's supposed to look like here.
Absolutely.
Building the culture here, the biggest part for you've always said, is you want to recruit people, not the players. You want to recruit good people to play here. So after, you find out that Rashada's leaving and you need, you want another quarterback to fill out that room, what were you looking for in a person and a quarterback in the portal?
One, a good person. One, somebody else that had experience, and somebody that had a very, very high ceiling. I wanted somebody that if you saw throw in a vacuum that you would say, damn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? And because I truly think there's so many different ways to coach quarterback, there's so many ways to play the game or scheme somebody to success, that if you get a good person who cares, that is really talented in a vacuum, then you can see what you can mold them to be. And we had a few guys that we were looking at, and Jeff was the guy that when we looked at, I went back and watched every game that he's played in his college career. And I mean, there are plays on the tape that are uncoachable. And then you talk to him as a person and you talk football with him and you understand he's smart and he's intelligent. And then you combine that with some of these plays he makes. And then it's all about, okay, can we limit the negative 3 to 4 plays a game? And if you can take away those negative 3 to 4 plays a game, well, the other 65 plays are unbelievable. So how do we subtract 3, 4 from his total, body of work in a game? And if we can do that, we've got a guy who, has the talent level to really play on Sundays.
Yeah.
So the conversations with Jeff Sims, what was that moment that made you go, okay, this is our guy? Was there a specific moment?
Just in conversation, never blaming other people, even when I'm watching the film. Because what I like to do is I like to watch tape, especially of transfers, and I like to find somebody making excuses. When I say, oh, well, obviously this isn't the right route concept here. Somebody's supposed to do something different. 2 guys are in the same area. And maybe a pick is thrown, or maybe he takes a sack on a 2nd and 2, which you should never do because it's a sequencing down to get to 3rd and 2, and ask somebody that question. And I remember I asked him a question in that realm where I knew somebody else had messed up and he made a bad play. And I said, so talk to me here. And he took full ownership. And I said, well, what about the other guy who was running the under into the other under. It's not mesh, right? It was actually 2 slants, right, that were from cut splits. And he goes, yeah, but I still should have gone over here with the ball. That's what I want to coach.
As a coach, obviously, like, you look for players, you look for people you can mold, right? You said you're looking for the person, but like personally, what's something that you feel like you're still learning as a coach right now?
I mean, everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in the office today with Coach Arroyo, and we're talking option concepts, and do we want to outside release MOR guys, or do we want to run burst corners? And what the pro is of a burst corner is you throw more corner routes because the corner in cover 2 is going to squeeze the option. And the pro of an MOR is you're going to widen the corner to throw more options. What do we want to do? Why do we want to do it? Who do we want to be? Because that little detail is the difference between saying we're going to be a team that gets the ball out in rhythm and get the ball out quick for a 5-yard gain that turns into 7, versus a team that holds it another count and throws it in a more of aggressive corner route. That little tiny detail. So you're always learning and growing. And if you're not learning and growing, then eventually the world's going to pass you by.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, you already talked a little bit about Jeff Sims, quarterback incoming transfer, added a plethora of players, right? Wide receiver from Penn State, J'Mond Tapp, edge rusher. I want to ask you a little bit about Alton McCaskill, just because it felt like the running back room is and was one of the deepest rooms already, with Scat, Raleek, DeCarlos, Kyson, and then you haven't even had Jason Brown Jr. get here yet. So what was it about Alton where you said, you know what, we need this guy in our room?
Well, he's talented, and he's a good person. And, I thought we were going to get him last year out of the portal, and it didn't work out. And he called us wanting to come back, wanting to come here. It was a destination location for him. So the want to was there. The talent level was there, clearly. And then did we necessarily need running backs? No, we didn't. And I told him that. I said, listen, we're good at running back. You may not play. Mm-hmm. That's the reality. You may not play here. Are you still interested? Yes. I just want to go to a place that I trust the people. I trust you. I just want to go be comfortable. And so I challenged him to say, like, this is going to be really hard to see the field in this running back room. But for me, there's 5 skill players you play. I don't care. The best 5 should be on the field. So if we have to play in split back structures, then we should play in split back structures, get more backs on the field. If we have to play in empty and 0 tight ends or running backs, because that's the best players we can recruit, are the best 5 or wideouts, then we should be in 0 personnel. So to me, it's how do you acquire the most talent possible on your team with people who understand that you may not always get the ball either. Because if you can have that balance, why would you not take the best player that you think is available if his expectation is I better compete and there's nothing promised? And that was why it was a perfect combination. There were no promises. There was a really real conversation. And then the ability to play in some 20 personnel and 21 personnel.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of you have a lot of guys that you can use in a lot of different ways in this offense, and specifically the wide receiver room. You lose a guy like Badger, but talk about depth. I mean, there's so many bodies in this receiver room that can play every down and do a bunch of different things. Who have you seen kind of step up in that role that Badger was playing, and not necessarily on the field or out the field, just kind of be that guy in the receiver room?
Yeah, Jordan Tyson.
Yeah.
And Jordan Tyson has stepped up all spring. He's healthy. He's working. He's growing. Every day he gets better. He's competitive as crap. He'll block you into a cooler.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you want the identity. I shouldn't say it's easy. It's hard to make plays. It's hard to make people miss. It's hard to do all that stuff. But the reality is a wideout has the ball maybe 7 to 8 times a game. And if you have the ball in your hands 7 to 8 times a game, you're averaging 90 catches to 100 catches a year, depending on how many games you play. So you're already elite, and you have the ball in your hand 8-9 times a game. What are you doing the other 52? And that's what really makes your team good, is how do your guys play when they don't have the football? And that's one thing I think that Jordan and Stovall and Troy and Jake and X, when he got back, I think that's one thing that we are growing to become, is a team that the times I don't have the ball, which is 90% of the game, do I play with passion and effort for my teammates to win the football game, or do I say this isn't my play, go to the next one? And that's what I'm most pleased with about that room over the last few weeks of camp and how they progressed.
I think one of the unique things we've seen from you is navigating the college football landscape is when players leave, still treating them like people and wishing them the best. And obviously, college football today looks a lot different than it did just 2, 3, 4 years ago. Is that something that you saw coming when you took the job here? Or are you even a little surprised with where everything kind of stands as far as NIL and transfer portals and just how far it's kind of gone?
Yeah, I mean, to say you saw it coming, I think nobody really understood. They all know there were going to be change. How much? Mm-hmm. I think that's changing every year.
Yeah.
Because the rules change every year. But did we prepare for what it is now? Yes. Did we know the severity of it? Probably no. You just, last year we learned it. And then as cycles go by, you kind of, learn how to navigate. Just like we knew that last year we saved a lot of spots for the spring portal, but there weren't a lot of guys in the spring portal. So this year we said, okay, we don't want to save spots for the spring portal. We should only take like 5 transfers in the spring portal, maybe a 6th. So we tried to fill up all of our spots in the winter portal. That way we could build culture. So I think you learn and adapt as it changes, but I don't think anybody knows the perfect formula right now because there's no results. And you won't know that until 3-4 years down the road, not just winning currently, but can you sustain winning in the current environment? And that's really the hardest part.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we'll get back to the questions here in a second. Guys, again, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Some phenomenal comments in the chat from Jacob. It's 93 degrees and Kenny is wearing a hoodie. Man is unstoppable. Also, Joseph in the chat, Dilly needs to put Shane on some type of shoe game. LMAO.
What is going?
It's not me. That's them.
These are my favorite. I know I'm directing my anger toward the chat. These are probably my favorite pair of shoes that I own. That's really offensive.
How do you feel about those?
I mean, who was the guy who said that in the chat?
That was Joseph.
Yeah, Joseph. Leave the man alone. Those are his favorite pair of shoes.
I love it. And we got a couple super
I thought he was
chats.
going to hit me with it. Yeah, Joseph's right. Those things are trash.
I have no swag. I wear the same thing all the time. So
this is a good fit, though.
Yeah,
it's a good fit. I'll give you that.
It's
my same fit with different pants.
Yeah, that's fair.
Doesn't mean it's a bad fit.
Yeah, that's true. It's better than your hat.
You got to play the classics.
It's consistent. What'd you say about bamboo? You just got to water, and eventually, boom.
That's exactly right.
So eventually, there's going to be something that pays off the outfit.
Yeah, eventually I wear this will turn into like a orange hoodie.
Yeah, just add it to the counter.
Over time, we'll have to trade out.
We have a couple super chats from the one, the only Sweet Prince Kenny Donald in the chat, just saying, "I love you, Kenny," and then also, Kenny, your portrait is going in my dining room.
Thank you, Donald. I saw your commitment video. It was elite.
Well, so you're saying there's a roster spot open for him?
No, no, there's not. But it was a great video.
Oh my gosh,
that's great,
Coach. I know you can't discuss specific players as it relates to recruiting, but the class of 2025 trending in the right direction. Top 15 nationally already, atop the Big 12. Obviously, the recent situation, I believe it was last week. But for you, what has been the process trying to navigate recruiting in the way that it is? And then also with kind of the situation that occurred last week, just what is the mantra or the standard for you in terms of commitment and then taking other visits?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer. If you're committed, and we're committed to you. So if, we say we're full at O-line and we're not going to trip any more O-linemen, I'm going to put all my eggs in your basket. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't like that because, these kids will flip on you. Well, you know what? I'm going to be loyal to them. And if they turn on me, then that's on me. And I'll figure it out. But I'm not going to be like, some other models where you just oversign and then drop somebody late. I don't believe in that model. I believe that you treat people how you want to be treated. So I'm going to give everybody we recruit the benefit of the doubt that I can trust them. And I have to show that back. So if you're committed to us, everything I tell you is going to be the truth. It may not happen. Maybe I say I believe you can do something and it doesn't happen when you get here. It doesn't happen. We tried to make it happen. We tried to make you what I thought you could be, and I couldn't figure it out. That doesn't mean I lied. It just means I failed, which is going to happen. But when I tell somebody in recruiting that something, it's the truth. And if I say you're committed, and you're the last person at that spot, I'm not recruiting any more people at that spot. So you may burn me, which is okay. I can sleep at night if you burn me. I'll figure it out later, but I'm never going to burn a kid. But it goes mutual. So that's just part of the mutual kind of relationship that you have when I believe somebody commits.
ASU, since you've gotten here, not just the football program, but athletics in general, has taken some really major strides in NIL. I mean, everybody has to, but like it's really felt like there's been this emergence, especially your Activate the Valley. Like people have taken that personally. Do you have conversations with the other programs and the other coaches and people at top those about kind of working together and getting this whole thing built up, not just from football, but from the entire athletics perspective on NIL?
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely exchanged and had conversations. I've met with, people from different sports. Yes, all the time. The hard part is our seasons are all conflicting.
Yeah.
So when I'm in full speed mode, they're in like, let's figure out NIL mode. And I'm like, guys, I don't have time right now. Like, it's Tuesday. Okay. And then when they're in full speed mode, I'm in the other mode. So that's the hardest part about it. But I know the leadership of the university, is really fighting for that direction. And then, I mean, I get asked to do events for other sports as well. And I try to go to those events too, to help them fundraise money in whatever way I can. Like I've been asked to do a few events that I've been to, and we'll continue to do that for other sports, just because I firmly believe if basketball is good and baseball is good and hockey is good and softball is good and all women's basketball is good, and that's just the culture you create. And that's an environment that you want to be a part of, right? So if the more teams that are good, the better it is for ASU football.
Yeah. So I want to read a comment from one of our diehards, Sharon. She's here every single day, loves ASU. She says, Coach Dillingham, this is the most excited that I've been for ASU football's future in a long time. Thank you for re-energizing us. I hope you're here for a long time. What does that mean to you to have fans just fervently support you?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I think it's great. I mean, that's why I came home. That's why I think people can feel/relate to me actually wanting to be here and wanting to build this program, not just for how quickly can we win, but how long can we win and how long can we build it and get to the top and stay there. So it's awesome for me to hear that because this is what I want to do. I want to build this place into something that you could stay at forever and something that you want to be a part of, not just me, but the fans, the community, everybody in the Valley. Bring ASU back to what it was when it sold out every freaking game, every Saturday. What did you do? You came and watched ASU football, and it was the thing to do because there is nothing like a college football game with a college environment. I don't care what pro sport. I grew up going to Cardinals games and Coyotes games and all the games. There is nothing better than a college football game with the band and the student section and all the alumni that are there and all your buddies that you go to with that you used to go out on frat row with, and everybody's going there together. And now your son's going with you. And it's that same, you have flashbacks to when you were 17, 18, 19 going to games. Now your son's doing it. There's nothing better than that. And we need to bring that back to the state. And I wish I could just say Activate the Valley, everybody shows up to games. I have to show that we're going to show progress and win first because people will follow a winner here. So I got to do our part. I got to show this year we're getting better. Next year we're getting better. And this isn't just going to happen overnight, but over a 3 to 4 year cycle, we're going to sell this place out again.
I know people are excited. Sweet Prince Kenny back in the chat with another super chat. I don't need the roster spot, but my kids were making future Sun Devils on the way to practice now. Great show. Keeping activating the Valley. Love it. Absolutely love it. We've got Mike Luke in the chat. Very excited. I do want to get to some fun questions that we have for you. So I'm going to set the scene. Okay. We're at Sun Devil Stadium.
And what scenario is this happening?
This scenario.
Okay.
This scenario.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a Friday night.
Mountain America Stadium.
There you go. Mountain America Stadium. There you go. I love it. Mountain America Stadium. Under the lights. It's packed. Rod Wave is blasting over the speakers. Okay. Marcuston Douglas at the 50-yard line.
Is he just there?
He's just there.
How did he get there?
He spawned there.
Oh, okay.
He spawned there. He was
schemed open.
Yes, he was schemed open, of course. Of course. And who's coming out of the tunnel?
Wait.
Who's coming out of the tunnel? Third graders. Bunch of third graders. How many third graders would it take to tackle Marcuston Douglas?
Well, this is quite the scenario. I mean, 8?
You think only 8? I feel like it would take so much more.
I mean, it depends how organized they were.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, if you had a lead, do you have a coach of the third graders?
Shane.
Or are these third graders 12?
Yeah, I don't teach good tackling techniques. Someone's getting hurt.
I mean, I would say 8 third graders with a plan
8 third graders with a plan.
could
Okay.
constantly dive at that dude
That sounds like a crazy
and
band.
knock him down. I mean, you would think maybe 12.
They've got 10 minutes to prep with Brian Ward.
Oh yeah, we're getting them down with 8.
Yeah.
We're attacking from all angles.
I love that.
Poor Marcus did.
Man. Well, you said your kid was just at Disney, so assuming cartoons are a big part of every day. Do you watch the cartoons with him?
I mean, not really.
Yeah.
When I get home, the only thing we'll put on is Toy Story.
Okay.
So that's the cartoon I try to. I mean, they're on.
Yeah.
But Toy Story is the one that we consistently watch to go to bed every night, or the Grinch, the new Grinch he loves. So I'm like, it's June.
So you begin to familiarize yourself with the cartoon landscape.
Yes.
If you had to give me a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, and an offensive lineman, all cartoon team, can you give me 4 of those? Like who's playing each position?
Of all time.
Of all
Could
time?
be anybody.
Well, I mean, my mind goes instantly to Mario Kart.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I mean, my old lineman is Bowser.
That's huge.
That's a good one.
That's
That's a
huge.
good one.
Yeah.
I mean, Luigi's my running back. I
Okay.
mean, just because he's fast.
Yeah. Shifty too.
Mario's my quarterback.
Yeah,
I
naturally.
mean, I'm just
Gotta be.
thinking
leader.
like,
Great
yeah, he's a leader. He's
Yeah.
the name of the game.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, he's either the coach or the quarterback, right? One of the two. And the wideout, I mean, you got to get somebody with length
Waluigi.
who can stretch the field. Who'd you say?
Waluigi.
I don't even know who that is.
The big lanky purple.
He's the
one.
purple
Wears
guy.
a hat like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
I still don't even know who that is.
Think
I
Troy
mean-
O'Meara.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to change it, and I'm going to go Yoshi's my wideout.
Okay.
Ooh,
And I'm going to go, I want a bruiser at running back. I'm going to go SpongeBob.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going
Okay.
to really
Yeah, he can absorb contact.
can absorb
that's
contact, right? And, he can squeeze through holes, right?
You know what they say? He is. I mean, he's a worker. Shows up every day,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he's just ready all
Yeah,
the time.
no doubt. I mean, if you wanted a defensive coordinator, would be the owner of the Crab Shack, right? Krabby Patty, defense
Mr.
coordinator.
Krabs.
Yeah.
Mr. Krabs. Defense coordinators are always crabby, so I would go with the Krabby Patty guy.
Does Brian Ward have a chain yet? Have we got him a
Yeah,
chain?
we need to get him a B Ward D cord chain.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
I think he would love that.
That would be the best turnover chain in the country.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think he would absolutely love that. I think he would wear it. I think
he
he'd
would too.
embrace it.
We need that. We need that.
Huge.
Got anything else, Eric?
Well, there's a question that we ask a lot of your players when they come on, and that's what's the largest animal you think you could take down if you had a sword?
So I think I got asked this a little bit ago, and I would like to change the largest animal, tallest or weight.
Mass.
Whichever way you
It's
wanna go.
mass.
Yeah, it's mass.
Mass. Okay, the largest animal. Well, I think a whale
You think you take down a whale
if I'm on land.
if you're on land?
Okay, but you're in their home territory.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. See, I'm trying
Yeah.
to find a
Come
way
on,
around
Eric.
the rule.
Sorry.
That was
a little bit of
Yeah.
a loophole.
That was,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
creative thinking,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
You ran the swinging gate on the question.
all right. So I'm
You're in their
I'm
territory,
in-
and they're trying to fight you. They're not just there to like.
Oh, they're
relax.
trying to
Yeah,
get
it's a fight. Like
Oh
it's
my
going down.
God.
The other day, CJ Fight said an elephant. By the way.
Yeah, he'd be wrong. Okay, that's good. Good for him. Right? Yes. Keep fighting, CJ. Yeah, our entire O line and D line together could not take down an
No.
elephant
No.
with a sword. 20 swords. No. I would say, man, ostrich.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you're taking that ostrich down for sure.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to win many fights versus a gigantic animal.
I always say the right answer to me is a cow.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Llama.
Llama.
I changed
Llama's a
my
good
deal
one.
to llama. Big neck. Easy to
Yeah.
strike.
Yeah.
There you go. Break
One
it
fell
down.
swoop. I love it. I absolutely love it. That's incredible. Incredible. Coach, do you have a message to Sun Devil Nation? Obviously, still some months away until fall Camp Tontozona, and the 2024 season. But any message headed into year one in the Big 12?
Yeah, just get involved. Like, continue to get involved in whatever way you can get involved. Bring friends to the game. Bring families to the game. Come out to Camp T. Show support of the players. Our guys want to be here. Our NIL is not the biggest in the league. Our guys had opportunities to leave And a lot of our guys chose to stay. A lot of the guys that I brought in here chose to stay regardless of the opportunities they have because they love it here. And I think sometimes, a little bit of the old guard says, well, the changing of the game, these guys don't love ASU. Our guys love ASU. Our guys are going to learn the fight song. Our guys are going to sing the fight song in Camp T. Our guys are going to understand what the rivalry is down south, right? And I want those guys to be as good as possible so that game that we play matters the most that it's ever mattered, right? And that's kind of my mantra. But we need the Valley to get behind us. We need people with butts in seats. Like I say, bring your friends, bring your friends' kids. Make it something that you, your friends, and your family embrace it and enjoy it, because you're going to remember us getting better and better and better and better. And it's easy to join something once we get there. It's a lot more fun to watch the process unwind. And come for us on the ride, that hopefully we get better every year, and that's the challenge. And I think you're going to see it this year, us be a little bit better than we were last year and continue to grow.
Absolutely. Players choosing to transfer to Arizona State, stay at Arizona State, and also commit to Arizona State. One of those class of 2025 commits, tight end AJ Ia. We've got the latest tale of the tape for everybody. Here's a look. What's up, guys? I'm Anthony Totri, and we're back for another edition of Tale of the Tape. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some of the film of class of 2025 tight end Arizona State commit AJ Ia. Let's go ahead, get to the tape. Got a 6'5", 240-pound tight end that can really do it all. He is a big play waiting to happen. Now, he is a 3-star tight end according to 24/7 Sports, but for those of you that are big on the numbers and the rankings, he is just 1 point away from being a 4-star tight end, certainly capable of getting to be a 4-star by the time he comes to Arizona State. Now, you're going to see it really throughout the tape. This is a guy, he is a vertical threat immediately. We're lining him up in the slot. Love this play. Little head fake. He's wide open. At 6'5", 240 pounds, this kid is always open at the high school level across the field. At this high school in Orange Lutheran, California, they love utilizing the middle of the field with AJ Ia. I'm interested to see when he gets to Arizona State. He'll be playing with tight end Jaden Rashada, who is a class of 2024 commit for the Sun Devils. This is another big play here, except he's not doing any catching. He is just putting DBs on their back. Now, Arizona State landed AJ Ia over some really, really big schools. I'm talking Florida State, Notre Dame, Oregon, Penn State, Auburn, BYU, Arizona, Cal, Texas, Tennessee, USC, Utah, just to name a few, all in play for the former basketball player who does plan to run track as well. So you're getting a multi-sport athlete trying to get faster, build some of that endurance. Again, getting back to the tape, you're going to see this kid lines up realistically everywhere on the field. And I think that's probably a big part as to why Jason Mons, Kenny Dillingham, Marcus Arroyo wanted AJ Ia, is because he is a versatile player who is not only a threat in the pass game, but when it comes to moving bodies, AJ Ia can do it. You see it again right there. He is going to be a big-time player for the Sun Devils when he gets here. The hands, the body control, of course, the size of this kid makes him an immediate threat. Whether he's a freshman at ASU playing, a sophomore, it doesn't matter. This kid should hit the field early and often when he gets to Tempe. But guys, that is going to do it for this edition of Tale of the Tape. Head to the comments. Let me know what you think of class of 2025 Arizona State commit AJ Ia. Now we'll be doing plenty more Tales of the Tape in the future. Kenny's
where'd he go?
He
He
went to go fight. He went to go fight the camel.
He got some juice
fight
llama.
The llama or camel will work. To be honest with you, whale was a crazy answer. Whale was an absolutely crazy answer. Just want to throw that out there. Look, we will break down that interview. We've also got some discussion that needs to happen around former Arizona State quarterback Jaden Rashada. We'll get to all of that. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about our friends over at Circle K. They're helping you save money every single day. day with America's Thirst Shop. Guys, a new free membership program called Inner Circle that's going to help you save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. And then every single day after that, guess what, Eric?
What?
You're going to save 3 cents per gallon
That's a deal.
every single day after that. Not to mention, they've got great deals on snacks, of course, gas. They've got Polar Pops. They've got everything that you could possibly need, including a very user-friendly app.
Yes.
With Inner Circle. Go check it out, guys. Enjoy your member-exclusive beverage deal. Inner Circle members like you can get any size Polar Pop or Froster for just 69 cents now through September 3rd for 69 cents if you aren't a member, or 79 cents if you aren't a member. Find it in the app under Inner Circle offers. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details.
Yeah, and visit our friends over at BetMGM if you want some scratch to... scratch an itch, maybe a chicken tornado at Circle K.
Yeah.
God, I love a good chicken tornado. Chicken Tornado, also a great movie name. Would be like Sharknado's
But with
spinoff.
chickens?
Yeah. That'd be scary.
I feel like it
'Cause
just
they can
doesn't
fly.
but it doesn't have the same
Like ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is pretty ridiculous.
Like sharks in a tornado is
Yeah.
pretty
You know what else is
pretty out there.
ridiculous? Being able to spin a wheel on BetMGM
every day.
every day and get a nice bonus to use on your parlays. I gave it a parlay yesterday and the Snakes killed it. But it is what it is. And it doesn't matter because there's always there's always something else to bet on. Like the Celtics game tonight.
Yeah.
Celtics minus 10,
So
anybody?
juiced. We get
Guys.
NBA playoffs.
Yes. Download BetMGM. Use that bonus code PHNX. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app for at least $10, and you will receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if the bet loses. Check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to me talk about the disclaimer. Bonus bets expire in 7 days. One new customer offer only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, North Carolina, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
Dallas in the chat. I love Kenny. Back the fork. Again, guys, hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Rick in the chat. Is he gone for good?
No, he's still with us.
He's still with us.
Yeah,
he's just
alive.
no longer on the show as it stands right now.
Yeah, he'll be back on the show.
He'll be back. Absolutely. Mike in the chat. Bring Dilly back. Mike,
Sorry,
we've got some words. We've got some words for you, Mike. Look, let's get into Jaden Rashada. Hey, I just hate it. I hate that we're back in the headlines.
We're not back in the
We're
headlines.
not back in the headlines,
Yeah.
but Jaden's back in the headlines.
Yeah, he's back in the headlines. And it's unfortunate because, again, like, you talk to the guy and the football player and he just wants to play football. And then,
You see stuff off the field.
yeah, well, it's not stuff.
It's not his fault.
No, it's not stuff for him off the field. It's just like, it's an unfortunate world that college football, it's the ugly side of college football right now.
Yeah.
It's the lying and the manipulating and the promises of riches before you play the game professionally, which is good and bad. In this case, you see the ugly, like we were talking off air before, and it's like, this is the first time that someone's going to have to pay the piper for lying to a kid. Usually you could get off scot-free.
Yeah.
Scot-free? Is that the word?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's right. Look at you. You might be the one messing up sayings these days.
Uh,
Sean in the chat, former PHNX Sun Devils co-host. Acknowledge me. We got you, brother. I'm acknowledging you, brother.
All right, that chicken tornadoes comment was for you, Sean, by the way.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
He loves his rollers.
Former ASU quarterback suing former ASU offensive coordinator for nothing that occurred at Arizona State.
Yeah, I love that.
There we go.
That's the headline.
The Sun Devils always make news outside.
Absolutely.
Of ASU.
It's just, if you haven't had the chance to read the CBS article, highly, highly encourage you to go read it. It kind of lays everything out in terms of just the timeline of everything, which, I mean, dating back to when Rashada had committed to Miami for the $9 million that they said that they were going to give him. And then Florida was like, we'll one-up you.
Yep,
Make
here's
sure you
some
get the
more.
13. The promises to Jaden, to Harlan Rashada, Jaden's dad. Like, it's mind-blowing. And I've had conversations with Harlan before when Jaden was still at ASU. And, he just wants to play football.
Yeah.
Right, like you said, like he just wants to play football, and all of the stuff that occurred at Florida, like just trying to like figure it all out.
Mhm.
Like people still, and we were a few years removed from the situation and from NIL kind of growing and seeing what it is today. Not that there's a whole, set rules for it all, but like that was really the first case nationally that we saw that kind of money publicly out there invested in a 19-year-old kid. And I feel like it set the floodgates open with kind of just the way that went down.
The shock of it was crazy at first.
And it's tough because like you always want to be in a position to say the player should get what they deserve, right? Yeah. And if a school's coming to you and they're saying, hey, you're worth this, at what point is an 18-year-old going to say, you know what, that sounds too good to be true? No, you're going to say, of course I'm worth that. I'm going to go take that. And now you're seeing it rear its ugly head. But I hope that whatever comes out of this, it just leads to more transparency in the future because sure, somebody's going to win the lawsuit. Rashada might get a certain sum of money, but the reality is, like you guys said, he just wants to play football. Yeah. And there's probably a lot of kids who have been promised things that have never come to light. And they don't even feel the need to go out and do this because, hey, maybe it wasn't that big of a number, right? Or, hey, whatever, I'm just going to go on and do my own thing. But I'm hoping that after this, there can not only just be more transparency between the people, but then also like to the public as well. So stuff like this just doesn't happen in the future. And you need to have guidelines and regulations on things. And I don't know what exactly that looks like, but what we're seeing here is you can't just give people free will to throw money around and promises and everything like that.
Promises around, yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, and like in a vacuum, this can be good for the sport because like obviously there are real people being affected by this and that stinks. But
yeah,
it's going to be for the better in the future because it shows the ugly side, as I said, of this whole thing. It shows the lying and manipulating that goes on behind the scenes. I'm sure the curtain's going to open up even more, and we're going to find there's going to be more that people are going to find out about this situation, not only in terms of like promises, but also conversations that were had, not just with Napier, but with other schools. And don't worry, I'm not saying us. there's none of it coming back to ASU.
It's none of it,
but
we'll come back at ASU.
It should be for the better, and hopefully, and I know we've talked about this conversation so many times on the show. How do you revert something when you've gone too far? And I don't know if there's really a right answer. I don't know if there's really a way you can kind of go back in the other direction when you gave, players this free, reign to make money off their image and likeness, which they should. But everybody can kind of see that there should be some type of guidelines, and this is a good example of it.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Guys, we still have a bunch of you in the chat. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We do this just about every single day, talking all things Arizona State and college sports. So much so that one guest is fine. 2 guests in 1 week is kind of where we like to keep it. Arizona State defensive back Cole Martin is going to be in studio joining us tomorrow. So definitely stay tuned for that. It's going to be a fun one. He will be participating in the weekly snake draft.
There's something about Nichols at ASU that they're they have the most infectious personalities.
They do. They really do.
Sorry, Jordan Clark, you've been replaced.
Wow.
That was kind of
clip it and send it to him. Maybe we can get JC in the chat tomorrow. Just to see.
Fight on, brother, right? No,
that would be USC. That's their rival. Yeah.
What's their thing?
They don't really go Irish. That's
play like a champion.
I mean, that's what they got in the locker room. But that's not like they're saying. They don't like say that.
Play like a champion, Jordan Clark.
Okay.
Do we know what we're drafting?
No, we haven't decided what we're drafting yet. But I would just like to say I won. So
you did. Congrats. You did win.
So you get to choose.
Yeah. I get to pick the.
You get to pick the draft.
I get to pick the order. Yeah. But for those of you, again, interested in the Jaden Rashada news, this is the article outlines the lawsuit, and the lawsuit claims, quote, fraudulent misrepresentation and inducement, aiding and abetting fraud, civil conspiracy to commit fraud, negligent misrepresentation, tortuous interference with a business relationship or contact, and aiding and abetting tortious interference. Some of those
Totrious.
Totrious interference, bringing me up in a lawsuit. Mm-hmm. It's tough. I didn't do anything. Let me hold $1, Jaden and Billy. Definitely Billy. Billy needs to let me hold $1.
So Rashada's attorney, or the one who's representing him, says, quote, sadly, this type of fraud is becoming more commonplace in the Wild West that is today's NIL landscape. Wealthy alumni consumed by their school's athletic programs are taking advantage of young people by offering them life-changing sums of money only to renege on their comments or commitments. And that's from AP News, who just put out an article on this. And I mean, it does feel like a problem that this is not just a one-person thing. Yeah. And maybe this is the biggest example of it. but it's definitely not a one-person thing.
It's between the booster, right, that had a bunch of conversations and that is kind of outlined in this lawsuit, coupled with Billy Napier, kind of like what both of you have said. Like this really is going to change recruiting in a way, and kind of bringing it back to Arizona State, right? We just had Kenny on, and you talked to him about recruiting, and he's okay to get burned by a player.
Yep.
But what he doesn't want to do is, go vice versa and kind of say something to a kid and then almost ruin their experience throughout the entire thing.
That's the reason why they do this.
Yeah.
Is for the kids. It's not for glory. It's not for championships. It's for tradition. It's for showing somebody how awesome this school can be.
Yeah.
And and Kenny's serious about that. It's not about money. It's not about winning. It's about building a program here, and winning is a part of that.
Yeah.
But it's not the only thing. And you can feel that when you're talking to him. Like, he doesn't just say these things. He doesn't just tweet these things. Like, he means these things.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
You could tell when he answered about how much it meant to him that ASU fans want him here and support him.
Yeah.
And he went on like 5 minutes about like, this is tradition and culture and bringing your kid after you win. And, later in there, he said, I have to build a winner, and that's what happens. But the first like 3 minutes of that was just purely about the culture and what it means to the community and what it can mean for somebody just to go to a game. And even him saying that there are players on the team right now who had the opportunity to go somewhere else and make more money. But they knew that A, Kenny is invested in them as a person over a player, and B, like Arizona State can still be a place to be, and you're still going to get some money. You might not get as much as you go somewhere else, but you get somebody who's actually invested in your future, in your success, and not just when you're here and when you can bring him something like talent on the field or whatever, but once you're done, he's still going to maintain that relationship, and he's still going to help you find your way, whether it's a pro football career or it's off the field as well.
Yeah, and he always keeps it so real too. Like, exactly what you said, like straight up saying, yeah, we might not have the most NIL money, but like people want to be here.
Right.
There's a reason for that. And that's what I always loved about Kenny, is he's just so real about things. I was also so excited about the conversation with everyone's favorite in the chat, Jeff Sims. He sold it. Hold on. I mean, can I get the shot real fast? I don't want to say I'm right, but I was right. What was I saying the whole time, chat? What was I saying the whole time, guys? Upside, 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 upside. You look at a guy because you want upside. Jeff Sims has upside. Talk about a guy,
serious upside.
Looking at a guy throw the football in a vacuum, like he can just throw the football very far, very hard. And that's what Kenny loves. And that's what Kenny always recruits. He always recruits these guys with high upside. Alton McCaskill.
Ball players.
He had this injury in his freshman year. But you see his peak? You see what he can be? That's upside. Yeah, Troy Amiri has been held back because of injuries. Yeah, the production at Texas wasn't what everybody thought it was. But you know what he has? Upside. And you know what's paying off? Upside. Jordan Tyson.
That whole roster, yeah.
Yeah, he had a really bad knee injury. But you know what works is his upside. And you know what we're seeing is his upside and what he can do when he's not just catching the ball.
Yeah.
When he brought up the cooler thing. You remember that play? Oh my God. There was a play in spring ball where Jordan Tyson legitimately blocked somebody into a cooler. It's that type of stuff that Kenny loves to see. And it's that type of stuff that I've been preaching. I don't care about this game where he had 3 fumbles and 2 interceptions. I don't care about the decision making. Like, it's about upside. It's about potential. It's about ceiling. And that's what he sees. And that's what he can mold. And you know what? If this doesn't work out, that's okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, let's talk about it for a second, because the idea of potential, not just with Jeff Sims, but really is how this roster has been constructed, right? In just 2 years, the overhaul in terms of transfers and commits versus the guys that were here under Herm Edwards is absolutely ridiculous. And you could go to every level of the offense and every level of the defense, and you could point out one guy that went to a school that was probably promised X, Y, and Z because he was a high-level recruit, and they just needed him as depth. But enters the portal, Kenny keeps it real, comes here, and you unlock that potential. You talk about a guy like Prince Dorba at Texas, who didn't have a whole lot of success, led this team in sacks last year. Clayton Smith, again, a former 5-star edge rusher committing to Oklahoma, doesn't play, comes here, is immediately one of the best edge rushers on the team. You look in the secondary, LaTerrence Welch, in a crowded DB room at LSU, he's set to be DB1 probably here because Ed Woods hit the portal. In the back end, Shamari, Xavier, those guys are transfers. You look to the running back room, right? It's littered with transfers. Literally, running backs 1 through 4 were all transfer running backs.
Yeah, and then like Scat was not somebody who was coming in, and you talked about what.
No, dude played at Sac State.
Right, you're talking about his upside. I mean, Shane, you have a great point, and I've obviously was on the other side of the Sims thing, and I'm getting pulled more in. Now I'm not going to go in and just be like, start him, right?
Yeah,
but
that's never what I was saying.
Why are you so menacing? He's like a menace man. Start him.
Start him.
Start Jeffrey.
Like, start him.
Start Jeffrey.
But you're right. It's like it's almost like a why not thing. And when you talk about Prince Dorbah, what have we also seen now recently? More guys from Texas have come from Texas to Tempe. Guys that were depth and now are promised to maybe get a bigger role.
But
here.
Again, like the reason why I said it's okay if it doesn't work out, Kenny's not going to go recruit a guy that is a complete wild card that has a high upside if he needs a quarterback that needs to start right now.
No.
You have a guy in Sam Levitt who you are pretty confident in trotting out there week 1.
Transfer.
Transfer, but also that's why you bring in a guy with a high upside.
Yeah.
Kenny's not going to recruit a guy like Jeff Sims if that's his only option. That's not going to happen.
Well, especially if Jeff Sims, and from what he said, is not the type of person to be finger pointing everywhere.
Yeah, I loved that. I loved that part of the interview in terms of him just kind of breaking down the plays.
Kenny seeing what was wrong with the play and being like, no, this is what was wrong with the play, but I respect you saying that it was your fault.
Yeah.
But these guys ran into each other.
It is I don't know if, and we obviously haven't on the show because players are so different, right? They're a lot younger than coaches. And we've had a lot of players, we've had recruits on, but Kenny has the ability, and I don't even know if he notices it, is where he will just slip into, I'm talking ball.
Oh no. Yeah.
He does. He just like,
that's what ball knowers do.
Yeah, they do. And he just goes.
I remember I was talking to Arroyo about that when Arroyo first got here. I was like, how like, I wanted to say how insane is it, but I obviously didn't frame it like that. I was like, how refreshing is it to just like have a coach where you can just kind of lose track of time because you're just talking ball, because Arroyo is that very similar too. So it is fun. And Thomas brings up the point that we always talk about with Kenny is he recruits players. He says, sat down with 2 players on Saturday to talk about their goals, aspirations, and whatnot, and they're just impressive people.
Yeah.
And that is the type of people that Kenny recruits. He recruits the person before the player. And that is, and again, everything's done with intent with him. Like the word is intentional with Kenny.
And that's why a lot of these players, when we talk to them, it's like, what drew you here? Yeah. They don't just say, oh, Kenny was great. They go, no, I feel like I can relate to Kenny on a different level. And he's so different than all these other head coaches. And it's not just because he's young. Like, yes, of course he's young, but he approaches everything with a sense of respect for people as well. He's not talking down to people. And he's talking to recruits. He's like, I want to get the best out of you so that you can get better. And I'm not saying that like almost in like a demeaning way where I'm only going to benefit from it.
I mean, go back to how he answered the Alton McCaskill question. Yeah. Right? Where he hit the portal and he called ASU. Right. He called Kenny just being like, no, is there a spot?
And he was like, kind of, but not. He's like, we technically have a spot, but you might not play. And he's like, I don't care. I
still want to be there because of those initial conversations. Right. You got a guy that is a little bit younger, and we've talked at length about the importance of Kenny's age in this era of college football, right? You put Kenny in college football maybe 10 years ago, maybe it's a different story just because, again, NIL, transfer portal are so different. But you've put him at a beautiful, beautiful spot in Tempe, in Arizona State, a program headed to a new conference, and now it is all about relationships, right? Kenny can out-recruit 45, 50-year-old coaches. Yeah. And the 60, 70-year-old coaches they don't stand a chance, right? Because nobody wants to play for those coaches anymore.
No, the coaches don't want to play the game either.
No, you're right. They don't. Look at Nick Saban, right?
They're gone.
They don't want to deal with this era of college sports. And Kenny's like, I've been waiting since I was in high school for this.
But I think truly what unlocks Kenny, it's not his age. It's not, it's the football talk. All of that plays into it. He's at a place that he just absolutely loves. Yeah. And you can tell when you talk to the guy. You can't
bullshit that.
No, and that was the thing. I remember when he first got hired, and we were all talking about it like on the radio and stuff, and it was like, he's saying things that if another person said it, you would maybe be like, he's maybe blowing some smoke up your ass,
He can
right?
sell shit, man.
No, but it's not.
Exactly.
It's just him being like, you want to ask me about something that I love? Let me go on a 5-minute rant about how amazing it is. And you're like, I have no doubt in any bone in my body that you fully believe in what you're saying. Yeah. And that you can't get that everywhere. No. Like you have to truly feel a certain way about something to be able to quote and sell that.
You know what's so funny too is like that way of thinking, that realization is kind of like sad now to think about. You know what's awesome about this guy is he's genuine. Like that's just not what you get nowadays.
It's because I mean, in this era of college sports, you almost have to ask for the minimum.
No, take away college sports. The
life.
world we live in.
Yeah,
anyway, like
the bare minimum is decent.
Everything is, and it's not even about being nice. It's just superficial. Like you don't. That's just how life is. You are unintentionally superficial all the time.
But that's why Kenny's a cheat code to what you have in college sports right now. Is because he is. I'm not saying he's the only one out there, but he's built an entire staff of people like that. That's why you can have people come to Arizona State. And 100% honesty, Kenny Dillingham by himself couldn't recruit the transfer portal, couldn't recruit these class of 2025 kids, couldn't recruit this roster the way it is. It is guys like Brian Carrington, Brian Ward, Saga, Jason Mons, Sean Aguano, where it is the entire staff. You can pick any coach and you can go have a conversation, and it's the same as if you had a conversation with Kenny.
Yeah, but it's the same thing as recruiting players. It's his staff is good people. Like that's what he wants on his staff. He wants genuine people on his staff. So
you know who else is good people?
Well, before we get there, the last I'm sorry. The last point I want to make on this is why I don't think everybody is completely sold on Kenny yet is because of that point I made earlier. You almost can't believe that this person is real.
Yeah.
You almost can't believe that somebody can be like that. The always on mentality. He's never bullshitting you.
He is always on.
He's always on. And that's why I think, like, guys, this isn't a farce. This isn't some act he's putting on. That is your head coach. And he was like what he was like 5 or 15 minutes ago is what he was like an hour ago.
Yeah, we were watching the ASU baseball game.
Is what he was like this morning when he woke up. He is always himself.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to get through to people is that is the head coach of ASU, and that is what he is always like.
There's
on
no
the field,
other
off the field, at home, every minute of the day.
There's no like, oh, psych, pull the rug out from underneath you. He actually doesn't care at all.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
Yeah, Kenny's good people, and Pete is also a good person.
Yep.
Pete, I'm talking about Illegal Pete's. Guys, go check out their Tempe and Tucson locations for the best drinks, food, and vibes in the Valley. Yesterday was Margarita Monday. Today, that's Taco Tuesday, baby.
I'm eating tacos tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm stoked.
Love that for you. I feel like I got to also.
I rarely celebrate. I don't celebrate Taco Tuesday enough.
You need to.
Yep.
It's important to realize things about yourself that you can work on.
Self-reflecting.
Yes.
Yeah. It's you're being a better individual by eating tacos. And you guys can enjoy some phenomenal tacos as well. Again, over at Illegal Pete's, they got unbelievable food. They've got some phenomenal drinks as well. Illegal Pete's is here to bring you a win with their legendary sound check. They'll bring in your ticket stub from any ticketed event and get a draft beer or house marg for a penny. Illegal Pete's wants to celebrate with you, whether it's a pregame or postgame party. They got you covered on all your game day needs. Must purchase an adult entree to redeem Illegal Pete's sound check deal. Illegal Pete's, your go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer.
Dude, Doug has such a great idea.
Okay.
At the Big 12 Media Day, Mike Luke needs to interview Coach Dillingham.
Oh my gosh.
You need to interview Coach Brennan. That would make for some elite content.
That would. You down?
I'm here for it. I'm absolutely down.
Love that.
I'm sure we could get Dilly and Matt Luke.
And Erica, you cannot interview Bobby Hurley. Sorry.
No. Can't let that
my goal. What's my goal? What do I do? I protect him.
He is
number one.
He
Bobby
plays
defender.
crazy Bobby defense. It's crazy. He didn't even let me near him. It's wild.
I'm going to list off some things you can rely on. It's Shane defending Bobby Hurley.
Yeah.
It's JJ popping up in the chat.
Defense.
And naming a random ASU basketball
and BJ
player.
Freeman getting to the hoop.
The random basketball player at ASU.
BJ Freeman getting to the hoop.
Reliable.
Consistently.
Kenny Dillingham being Kenny Dillingham every moment that he's alive.
Yep.
And Desert Financial Credit Union. Taking care of all of your banking and money needs for the past 84 years and hopefully the next 84 plus years. They've been Arizona's largest and most trusted local credit union, dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and providing financial solutions that make lives better. And by lives, I can tell you, they've made my life better. My lives. My
Your
multiple
lives?
lives that I've lived.
Oh, no. Are you
That's
superficial?
That's how long they've been around,
You like
man.
split? That
Yeah,
movie?
they just-
Oh, God.
Boom, right? But they're here, and they've always been here. For whatever version of me wants to show up that day, they are here. Whether you want to do some checkings and savings accounts, mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and more. And the best part about it all is if you open up a free checking account online today, you can get $200 right in there for free. Plus, you can spend that $200 on an ASU-themed Visa debit card. You can get one of 3 different designs. You can rock your maroon and gold Spirit anywhere that you go. Just go to desertfinancial.com/ASU to get started and get your $200.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Look, guys, we do not have a whole lot of time left, so I'm going to let you guys choose what we talk about to close up today's show. Are we talking ASU baseball or are we talking ASU hockey's new commit?
We have to talk ASU baseball.
You want to talk ASU baseball?
Yeah, we have to. So they did this thing. They did this really weird thing where they let
such an uncute look.
Yeah, they let Stanford score 8 runs in one inning and then shut them out. And then they scored 7 runs slowly and then lost by 1 run.
It was crazy.
And had the bases juiced 3 separate times.
Yeah, bases
it might have been
juiced.
more than 3. It felt like every time I was looking at the screen, bases were
they at least had the bases juiced 3 times.
And people asking, is this team worthy of making the tournament? After this loss, it does not look good. And to make the semifinal, we'll lay it out for you. They have to beat Oregon State on Thursday.
This is for sure how they can do it?
Yeah, they have to beat Oregon State on Thursday.
Which is the number 2 seed in the conference tournament.
Yep. One of Oregon or USC goes 2-0 in Pool C, with the other going 0-2 in that pool.
So either USC or Utah, you said, right?
Yep. Yeah. Well, no, Oregon or USC.
Oregon or USC.
One of those teams has to win 2 games, and one of them has to lose both games.
So if they both go 1-1, it's over.
Yep.
Lovely.
Or one of them goes 1-1, the other goes 0-2 or 2-0. So yeah.
Awesome.
And Arizona has to win Pool A.
This is the only way.
Yep.
That ASU makes the semis.
Yep.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
There's a chance.
That's tough. That's tough. Look, I mean, we watched the entire game, and it was. I mean,
you know what's so funny too?
Tough.
The bullpen was amazing, unbelievable.
Yeah, pitching was great today.
Lights out. The
Outside
bullpen was
fourth inning.
lights out.
Yeah, that 4th inning, not great. How did you guys feel about Isaiah Jackson and not starting him?
I mean, you needed the offense. You didn't need the defense, and his bat hasn't been as hot as everybody else. It's
But still.
Yeah, but this run has been because of the bats that have been hot, that were in the lineup. Like, it is what it is. It stinks because they get hot three games earlier, and they're probably in the tournament. It's just too little, too late. But
you never know.
Yeah,
you never know.
It wasn't not playing him that lost them the game today.
No,
right? Like they scored 7 runs and they did it rather consistently.
You did one more.
It was 1 inning, but it was also you left a lot of runners in scoring position. You had in that 4th inning, you had a lot of errors as well defensively that led to those 8 runs.
You could have gotten that out of that inning with 2 runs.
Yeah,
none if the throws aren't errant.
Yeah.
And then you stomp them. Then we're talking about ASU stomping.
There's something about this team though that maybe they just only score runs when they're down runs.
It's tough. It is tough, but it is what it is, guys. That is going to do it for today's PHNX Sun Devil show. Again, told you once, told you a million times at this point. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, head over to gophnx.com today. Click that little Die Hard tab, and it's going to tell you everything that you unlock when you become a PHNX diehard, exclusive diehard only content. You are going to be getting potential videos from Kenny Dillingham that we may or may not have recorded pre-interview.
Nice little juicy video for our diehards coming in right after.
Yeah.
I love it. You're going to get great discounts on events, on merch, and so much more, including access to that diehard Discord, like we said. Again, head over. And
there's a lot of events going on, incling a road trip to Miami,
dude,
with the PHNX Cardinal squad.
So cool,
brother. Have you guys been to Miami?
No.
Holy smokes!
No. I kind of want to go though.
It somehow is a real place, and it's insane.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So you don't want to miss that. Hard Rock is also
PHNX Sun Devils on the road.
Yeah, Hard Rock is also such a cool stadium. Like it's
West Virginia,
unlike any other stadium I've been to. The vibes are great there. So if you want to check that out, head over to gophnx.com/events. And go on the road with Johnny and Bo. I
love it. Before we get out of here, we also have one final super chat from Sharon that we didn't get to that we're going to get to right now. $9.99 from Sharon for all of the Sun Devils in here. If you aren't a Sun Angel member yet, go join today. Help Dilly to have the resources he needs to bring ASU back up again. All in with Dilly.
Yeah.
Borksa.
People love being involved in sports. They love. Like that's why you say we when you're talking about your favorite team. You know, we didn't do enough in the trenches. And people love Monday morning quarterbacking. Well, if you want to actually help out, this is the way to do it.
Yeah.
Like be a part of the movement because this is today's college football. This is today's college athletics. Become a part of any of the NIL collectives and help out your Sun Devils.
Yeah.
I'm Sean, we're meeting in Miami.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Sean, we're going to meet in Miami.
Bienvenidos a Miami. As
Is he talking about you?
I think he's talking about you. Are we ever going to find out why Dude was on the bus for so long? You want to let him know?
Why was Dude on the bus
Why was
so
Dude
long,
on the bus
Shane?
so long, dude?
I was a circus act for a while. Yeah. If we get to 50 likes in 5 seconds, I'll tell you guys. Ooh,
Tough.
Stinks.
Tough.
Been a pleasure as always.
Guys, give the show a follow at PHNX _Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow this guy with the giant Waluigi hat.
We're near in the end, though.
At Erik Ruby.
Can you do your
20s.
best Waluigi impression?
Wow.
That's really good.
That's pretty good. But
really
how
good.
much of it was because he's
Shit.
nasally though, right now?
That was really good. I was
follow-
expecting to embarrass him. That might have just like my opinion might be changed on you. You might be the greatest,
That's what turns it around.
greatest human of all time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
At Erik Ruby, that is Eric with a K. You can follow DJ Danielle at Africa Danielle across social media. You can follow this guy with the New Balances.
You can follow Dude.
You can follow
Dude on bus.
Dude on bus at Shane Deef.
Just traveling across the country, juggling bowling pins on a tricycle as
Doing
always.
trapeze.
Love
apparently.
that. We'll see you guys
Doing trapeze as always.
Wednesday at 2 p.m. with Arizona State defensive back Cole Martin. But in the meantime, go Devils and peace.
We all silly like the mayor.